Deep within the endless heart of the tropical rainforest, where thick vines twist around ancient trees and moonlight struggles to touch the forest floor, a golden figure moves quietly through the darkness. High above the sleeping world, the Kinkajou drifts from branch to branch with effortless grace, as though the night itself is carrying him. Tonight, beside the faint warmth of a glowing fire, let us wander slowly into his hidden world, and within the cool silence of the rainforest canopy, learn how to release the noise we have carried for far too long. As evening settled over the jungle, the forest began to breathe differently. The bright chaos of the day softened into something older and calmer. Birds disappeared into hidden nests. Insects replaced daylight songs with delicate rhythms that echoed endlessly through the leaves. Moisture gathered along the bark of towering trees while distant rain clouds rolled quietly beyond the horizon. Somewhere within that living darkness, the Kinkajou awakened. Unlike many creatures of the rainforest, he belonged entirely to the night. Daylight had never interested him. While the jungle beneath the sun overflowed with movement, competition, and restless survival, the nighttime canopy offered him something far more precious: space to think, space to breathe, and space to exist without urgency. His golden fur shimmered faintly beneath scattered moonlight as he climbed carefully through the branches. Every movement felt impossibly smooth, almost dreamlike. His long tail curled naturally around vines for balance while his sharp eyes reflected tiny fragments of silver light. Watching him move through the forest was like watching water flow silently through stone. Yet beneath that graceful elegance lived a creature deeply familiar with solitude. The Kinkajou spent most of his life alone among the highest branches, far removed from the noise below. But his loneliness was never bitter. It was chosen. In the quiet heights of the rainforest canopy, he discovered something the crowded world beneath could never offer him: stillness. Night after night, he traveled slowly through the tangled green maze above the forest floor. He searched for ripe fruit hidden among leaves glistening with rainwater. Sometimes he paused beside clusters of flowers, drinking sweet nectar while cool winds drifted through the trees. Other times he simply rested upon a branch, listening to the rainforest whisper around him. The jungle never truly slept. Beneath him, unseen creatures rustled through fallen leaves. Frogs sang beside hidden streams. Faraway thunder rolled softly across the mountains. Yet somehow, none of it disturbed him. The Kinkajou had learned to move with the rhythm of the forest instead of resisting it. Perhaps that was his greatest gift. Many creatures survive by fighting against the wilderness, trying endlessly to conquer fear, hunger, and uncertainty. But the Kinkajou chose another path. He surrendered himself gently to the flow of the rainforest. He trusted the branches beneath his paws. He trusted the darkness surrounding him. He trusted the slow turning of seasons above all else. During heavy rainstorms, when the sky opened and water poured endlessly through the canopy, he would curl beneath broad leaves and wait patiently. The cold rain tapped softly against the foliage above him like thousands of tiny fingers drumming upon the earth. While other creatures panicked beneath the violence of the storm, the Kinkajou simply closed his eyes and listened. To him, even the rain carried comfort. There were nights when thick fog swallowed the treetops entirely, turning the rainforest into a floating sea of shadows. On those quiet nights, he moved even more slowly than usual. The air smelled of moss, wet bark, and blooming flowers hidden somewhere beyond sight. His body blended perfectly with the darkness, as though he were becoming part of the forest itself. Over time, the rainforest taught him many things. It taught him that silence is not emptiness. It taught him that solitude can heal rather than wound. It taught him that not every path must lead somewhere meaningful to be worthwhile. Some journeys exist simply so the soul can breathe more deeply while taking them. Humans who glimpsed him rarely understood him. They called him mysterious, elusive, almost ghost-like. They imagined him wandering endlessly through the jungle searching for something hidden. But the truth was far gentler than that. The Kinkajou was never searching for anything at all. He had already found what most creatures spend their lives chasing. He had found peace in simply belonging where he was. As the years passed, his movements gradually slowed. The quick leaps of youth softened into careful climbs filled with quiet thoughtfulness. Silver traces appeared within his golden fur whenever moonlight touched him just right. Yet age did not diminish him. If anything, it made him calmer, softer, and more deeply connected to the forest around him. Now he spent longer hours resting among the treetops, gazing silently across the endless sea of leaves stretching toward the horizon. Sometimes he watched rain clouds gather in the distance. Sometimes he followed the movements of fireflies drifting between branches like wandering stars. Other times he simply sat in complete stillness, breathing slowly while the entire rainforest pulsed gently around him. He no longer felt the need to outrun time. The fears that once haunted him dissolved quietly into the rhythm of the jungle. The desires that once pulled at his spirit faded like mist beneath morning light. Little by little, he allowed himself to become part of something larger than his own thoughts. And perhaps that is why the Kinkajou feels so comforting to imagine in the darkness. In a world constantly demanding attention, speed, and endless striving, he reminds us that there is another way to exist. A slower way. A quieter way. A way where peace is not earned through achievement, but discovered through presence. Now the fire beside us burns low. The rainforest grows colder as midnight deepens. Somewhere high above the sleeping jungle, the golden creature curls himself carefully among the branches once more. His tail wraps gently around his body while soft winds move through the leaves like distant ocean waves. Perhaps tonight, you too can release the weight you have been carrying. You do not need to chase every expectation. You do not need to answer every fear. Like the Kinkajou resting quietly beneath the moonlit canopy, you are allowed to disappear for a while into softness, silence, and rest. So close your eyes now. Let the cool breath of the rainforest wash slowly through your thoughts. Let the distant rustling leaves carry away your tension one piece at a time. And as sleep finally drifts over you like warm tropical rain, may you find yourself wrapped gently within the same golden stillness that has always belonged to the lonely wanderer high among the trees.